Hey everyone, welcome back to Wix Fix. I hope you're having a fantastic day. My name is Ryan, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use collapsible text inside of Wix. So let's go ahead and get started. So here I am in Wix Studio, and I went ahead and designed a repeater with 5 different items in them, and I've actually already connected it to a database right over here for just popular locations. Now I've given it a name, a picture, a description, and a more info field or a link. And I've applied that all here into these items. Now, one thing you'll notice here is this description right here only has 3 lines. This one has 5, this one has 5, and these 2 down here have 4. So personally, I don't really like the inconsistency between these. And so ideally, I'd like all 3 of these to be 3 lines. However, that just doesn't always work out, especially since these are in the CMS database and these descriptions may be used somewhere else on the website. We don't really want to edit these longer descriptions down, and plus that might hurt SEO, right? So what is something that we can do? Well, we can use something called collapsible text. So if I go to the add panel, go to text, and you're going to see an option for collapsible text, and you can see a couple options here. Now what I want to do is just go ahead and delete this text here, and I want to add the collapsible text. So I'll go ahead and select this and place it in its place. And what I want to do is just connect it to my data set. Now, if you're not connecting it to a data set, it'll still work the same way. I'm just connecting it to a data set to show you one use case of when you might want to use these, right? But you don't necessarily have to connect it to a database to be able to use them. But what I'm going to do is place it into the bottom grid cell, just like that. For the text, let's go ahead and make the text white. Let's also make it 16 pixels. And for the line spacing, let's go ahead and do like 1.2, or we'll do 1.3. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. And now that we've designed the text, we can then also design the show more button. So if we do the expanded and collapse button, we'll just switch there. And I'm also just going to switch this to white for now. And we can, of course, edit the different states. So maybe on hover, it turns like a blue or something like that. For the design settings, that's really all you have. If you come over to layout, we'll then have an option to collapse or show all as the default appearance. So we're going to set this as collapsed. For number of lines that we want to display, let's set that to 3. Actually, in this case, we would want to use 2 because we want the show more button to appear here as well. So actually, we will leave it as 2. But now that that is done, what we can do is go ahead and press preview. And of course, once we click show more, it's going to basically show the other text. Now I forgot to edit the background color of the show button. So let me just go ahead and edit that really quickly. Again, we'll switch over to the expand collapse. We'll switch to the hover state, and the highlight color, we'll set that to nothing. Okay. So now that's what it's going to look like. And if we go ahead and press preview and we go ahead and click on show more, it's going to show the full paragraph. And then when we click show less, it's going to go back to the collapsed state. But as you can see, just by using collapsed text, this is an efficient way to have your design look a lot more consistent, but it still has the very SEO friendly paragraph available at a click's notice when the user wants to learn more about that specific item. And the last thing I kind of want to show you is if I go ahead and add a collapsible text element here, and I don't connect it to CMS or anything like that, one thing I do just want to note here is if you go to change text, you can add the text manually here if you want, and you can actually tell it to expand the text, or you can even link it to an external source or even another page on your website. That is one option that you have if you don't connect it to a database. So if you're not connecting it to a database, here you would basically add your own text. And then if you want to expand, you do that here. But one thing I do like about this is you also have the option to link it out to another page or something like that. But I do think in most use cases, you're going to see it something like this, where it's connected to a database and it's going to allow people to show and hide additional information. But that's going to wrap it up for today's very quick little video. If you all did enjoy, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel for more Wix Studio content coming out really soon. Thank you all again, and I will see you all in the next one.